Assalamu alaikum and welcome to The Report. I'm Yasmin Khatun. On Friday, we'll be bringing you a full report. But until then, the Syrian elections have got underway while a civil war ensues in the country. Muslim educators gathered in London yesterday to discuss Islamic education and how to take it forward. So with that and the rest of the headlines, here's your update. Voting began today in Syria in an election expecting to deliver an overwhelming victory to President Bashar al-Assad. It comes as the country is in the midst of a civil war that has fractured the country, killing more than 160,000 people. Assad's two opponents in the election include Hassan al-Nouri and Mahir Hajar, both of whom have been involved in the Syrian parliament. Syrian officials allege the turnout in the elections will be high.
الساحقة من السوريين يشعرون أنه يجب إنهاء هذه الأزمة العدوان ويجب الخروج مما حدث ويجب ألا يستمر ما يحدث وتشكلت قناعة لدى الغالبية العظمى من السوريين أن مفتاح ذلك سيكون بإجراء انتخابات رئاسية.
Opposition figures in the conflict have told people to stay at home and boycott the vote, citing it as illegal and a farce.
كما أن السفاح لا يصير رئيسا شرعيا حتى لو زرع صناديق اقتراع موهومة بعدد الصواريخ التي أسقطها فوق رؤوس ناخبيه. زمن عائلة الأسد قد ولى إلى غير رجعة، واستفتاءاتهم الدنكشوتية لم تعد تنطلي حتى على الأطفال، وعربة ديمقراطيتهم لن تسير حتى لو أمنوا مرشحين اثنين لجرها أمامهم في حلبة السباق القائمة فوق جماجم الرضع وأشلاء النساء.
Western powers and Gulf states have dismissed the election as a charade, saying no credible vote can be held in the country. This is because wide swathes of territory are outside state control, with millions of people displaced. Insurgents battling to overthrow Assad stepped up attacks in government-controlled areas in the build-up to the election, seeking to disrupt the vote. They say the elections will be pointless if they lose the war.
الانتخابات هي عبارة عن عملية هروب من الأمر الواقع وتشتيت نظر العالم عن المجازر اللي عم يرتكبها بشار الأسد وعملية هروب مو أكثر وقتال لطواحين الهوى أنا بشبهها لأنه حربه إن شاء الله خسرانة معنا.
Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has met with ministers of the Palestinian Unity Government after a reconciliation deal with Hamas.
أهمية هذه الوزارة أننا قد أنهينا الانقسام وأننا في طريقنا إلى إتمام المصالحة الوطنية. هذه هي الخطوة الأساس، الخطوة المهمة التي واجهتنا بصعوبة ولكن تمكنا من التغلب عليها.
Setting a policy in line with US and European Union demands, the Western-backed leader said his administration would continue to honor agreements and principles at the foundation of the peace process with Israel. Israel has shunned the unity government, urging world leaders not to recognize it. The Israeli government barred 3 Gaza-based ministers from traveling to the West Bank in order to be sworn in.
How can we or the world recognize and cooperate with PLO Hamas government that have in its position through the Hamas 12,000 Iranian missiles and that totally violate the principle of complete demilitarization.
8 years after Hamas stunned the West by winning Palestinian legislative elections, the new government hopes to close the cycle of disunity. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called his security cabinet into special session to consider imposing economic sanctions against the new Palestinian administration.
Birthdays
In an unprecedented prisoner swap, the United States has secured the release of US Army Sergeant Bao Bergdahl in exchange for 5 Taliban fighters. Bergdahl was held for nearly 5 years by the Taliban. His freedom follows months of indirect US Taliban talks, with Qatar acting as an intermediary. The Afghan government is unhappy with the move, citing that the move was carried out without their knowledge.
دولت جمهوری اسلامی افغانستان از ابتدا به سلب آزادی اتباع افغانستان در زندان گوانتانامو و سایر محلات سلب آزادی مخالفت شدید نموده است. اخیراً به تعداد 5 تن از اتباع افغانستان در مقابل رهایی آقای باو برگدال، خودضابط آمریکایی، در مغایرت با تفاهم قبلی با جانب دولت جمهوری اسلامی افغانستان از زندان گوانتانامو به کشور قطر انتقال گردیده‌اند.
The Taliban detainees who have been imprisoned in Guantanamo Bay are now in temporary custody in Qatar. Opposition American parties have criticized the move, questioning the possibilities it may open up. Bergdahl, who is from Idaho, is the only known missing soldier in the Afghan war. He was captured by unknown circumstances in eastern Afghanistan by militants on June 30th, 2009, 2 months after arriving in the country. China has tightened security around Tiananmen Square today, ahead of the 25th anniversary of the 1989 crackdown on student-led protests. Dozens of riot police and police vehicles were seen parked around the square. Activists and commentators said China's determination to snuff out any mention of the event is especially strong this year. For the first time in recent memory, authorities have charged people for commemorating the Tiananmen crackdown privately in a home. Beijing-based independent historian and political commentator Zhang Lifan said the government's crackdown this year had been unusually harsh.
以往我觉得官方都是比较低调的来处理这种纪念活动，但是今年呢就改变了做法，就是比较高调的来宣布对他们的这个纪念活动的打压，这个是我们以往没有见过的。
Zhang said the authorities have felt threatened.
我想可能是由于这个国内的矛盾比较的尖锐，那么这个担心这类事件这个产生骨牌效应，然后这个危及到这个政权的这个生存。
Rights group Amnesty International said 48 people had been detained, placed under house arrest, questioned by police or had gone missing ahead of the anniversary. The anniversary comes as China grapples with challenges such as slowing economic growth, dire pollution, endemic corruption and violence in the troubled western region of Xinjiang. Coming together in the centre of London, the Islamic Education Conference 2014 opened its doors on Thursday morning. Speakers including Chief Editor of the 1001 Inventions exhibition, Salim Al-Hassani, and Sheikh Babakir Ahmed Babakir spoke at the conference to further encourage and move forward Islamic education. Delegates from all over the world attended the conference with the hope to take something away.
Well, I believe Islamic education in the format that we have today in modern Western schools, encompassing, as they call secular education, or they shouldn't be a secular education, but dunya education, material education, to live life, but then coupled with Islamic education to bring the best morals and character. I think the next thing to do is to spread this, share ideas with other schools around the world, and show the world that the heritage that we inherited is the best. And Muslims, inshallah, if they behave the way the Prophet behaved and taught their children to behave the same way, we will achieve not just success for ourselves, but we will change the world, as our ancestors did. Professor Salim, in his presentation, he makes me happy. because he did not say anything about the deen, but he spoke about science. But yet, it is all the deen. That's what we need to do, inshallah.
With the recent focus on Islamic schools in Britain, Ibrahim Hewitt, chief of the Al-Aqsa School in Leicester, spoke to us about the positivity of these conferences.
The main objective for a programme like this is to showcase what's good about the schools, what we share with people of other faiths in faith schools, because I believe there's an attack not only on Muslim schools at the moment, but on faith schools generally. And people of faith have to work together. So it's very, very important that we're able to showcase what we do and what we do well. And there's a great deal of very, very positive work being done, as can be seen by the incredible academic results, as well as the strong personalities of our young people who are leaving our schools. So it's very, very important that an event like this takes place.
Behind me here in London, scholars, educators and community activists have spoken about Islamic education, some of its struggles and achievements. A strong united front is indeed a step forward, but with this constant critique of Islamic education and its values, the question on how to combat this still evades many. Yasmin Khatun, The Report, Islam Channel.